Today marks 20 years since Princess Diana died in that car crash in Paris. Prince William and Prince Harry joining the grieving public. They're laying flowers at the memorial outside of Kensington Palace in that video right there. Joining us now from London is royal correspondent for Good Morning Britain is Louisa James. Louisa, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Ainsley.
Hi. So what is it? What was it about Princess Diana that stole all of our hearts?
I think it's the fact that everybody feels like she spoke to them in some way. I mean, you talk to people who met her and they all say that they were touched by her. A lot of them physically touched by her because she was one of those people that reached out and gave you a hug. You know, even if you were somebody who was suffering from HIV or leprosy, that was what's so special about her. I think everybody could see themselves in her as well, despite the glamour, despite the fact that she was a princess. We also knew that behind the scenes she was as vulnerable as the rest of us, and that was something that everybody could relate to. And so, you know, she became known to everybody around the world, and she still is remembered by everybody around the world. Even 20 years on, her impact is still being felt by everybody.
You are absolutely right. Here we are 20 years later, and we're still talking about her. We saw the documentaries that her sons put together. There have been books that have been written. They're just released now. Why, after 20 years, are we still fascinated with her life?
Well, I think her sons have said, you know, that this is the first and last time that they're going to speak about her like this. They've waited 20 years to do so, and really we have waited 20 years to hear what they're saying, and I think that is where the real fascination lies this time, for me anyway. I mean, I've heard other people speak about her before. We've heard from some of the people who worked with her. We've heard from her bodyguards, her royal protection officers. We've heard from her fitness trainers. These are people that we've kind of heard from in the past over the years. We've never really heard William and Harry speak about her. I mean, we always try, every time any of us interviews them, we always try and ask a question about her, but, you know, most of the time they shut those questions down relatively quickly. This is the first time we've really heard them be open about her, and they were really open and honest about the grief they felt, about what it was like to be told that their mother had died, about that moment that we all remember watching on the TV when they had to follow her coffin, when we saw the little note that Harry had written saying "Mummy" on the top of the coffin with the flowers. I mean, that is all things that we all watched, you know, 20 years ago, and that they have never spoken about. And I think that is where the real fascination has been over the last couple of weeks, is hearing from them.
I watched that first documentary that was released recently, and Prince Harry talked about how he's only cried once for his mom, and I guess they're taught to be so stoic and maybe to dismiss some of those emotions. He talked about how if she were still alive, that she would walk into the bathroom with her grandchildren and have soap and bubbles everywhere and have it all over the bathroom and then walk out. She seemed like she was a lot of fun. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say she would have been an amazing grandmother, and that's what they talked about. She seemed like such a fun person, and I mean, we kind of knew that from seeing her with them when they were little boys, and how, you know, I remember this amazing photograph of her seeing them for a while after being away from them, and she just opens her arms wide and they run towards her. And you've got to remember that at the time the royal family was seen as this really reserved family. We never really saw their human side. It's kind of easy to forget that now, because we see Kate and William and their children like a normal family.
All right, Louisa, thank you so much. We appreciate this perspective.